Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Friday the 9th of April, so good morning all. So let's get on and look at what's happening with these markets. Before I do that, just quick view of news events this morning. We don't have a lot until today. We've got the Canadian employment change affected Canadian non-farms there at 1:30, and that's it. So that's got that done. So data wise, where we're running at the moment, well, Euro's selling off this morning at this stage. We pushed up further yesterday, almost into the R4 there, crikey, on the weeklies. It's selling off a little bit at the moment. It could catch a bit more of a roll, but I'm sort of actually waiting to see if we can get a bit of bite here and more upside. So that's the goal, is really to see if we can just see it push on further. So that's the euro. The pound, let's get the pound up. Okay, so what we got here then on the pound then, again yesterday selling off. The pound does look weak. It's sold off again this morning. It's in fact moved as much today in today's bar as we saw yesterday. So we've seen quite a shove on the pound, heading down towards S1 as I speak. Coming down the time frames, you just see the consolidation phase that went through yesterday, danced around through the Asian sessions, sold off, and really off it's gone again. Okay, so that's where we are on the pound. Dollar yen, I'll look at that for you. CSM on the pound then, on the dollar yen, let's get that into my brain now. So dollar yen, subtle lower high coming through here. We'll see that on the maybe on the lower time frames. It certainly looks like it, but solid old push down there yesterday, and that's heading at the moment, looks like it could be heading further down. Looking at the 4 hours here, lower highs, lower lows through there. As I said, there was that sort of subtle movement. Well, it's sort of pushed through there on the 4 hours. Let's have a look at 60 minutes. 60 minutes, well, it's bare flag territory at the moment on the 60 minutes. So, yeah, more continuation possible. I mean, just as the euro looks like it's got a potential for the upside, this yen looks like it's got the continued dollar yen for the downside. So that all fits nicely. Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar, daily wires consolidated here. It's been a weird old one. I did expect it to roll yesterday. It hasn't, never triggered anything. It's just literally dancing along here. Looks like it might even have a bit of follow through. Even the next bar, we're not far away from the next bar now. If that starts selling off the lows here, maybe that's it down to the weekly S1. It's volatility's been quite low in it in the main. During the daily sessions, just looking here, those solid down movement it's seen this morning. Maybe because of the news that came out earlier. What was the news? That was the financial stability report that came out. Yeah, that was it, about 2:30. Does that tie up? No, this is all early morning stuff. So no, that doesn't. Is not the reasoning behind it. Anyway, looking soft, has pushed down quite strongly in the current move. Maybe a retrace and then a sell-off from that point would be ideal. Who was looking for the short side on the Aussie. Canadian dollar, just going to look at this in the bigger scale of things here, because it's another one that's just dancing up and down in a tight range, and really was expecting more of it yesterday in a sense, but it's just range bound at the moment. A break of the 50 MA, well, would be looking then towards the daily 100, but I don't day trade it, so I'll leave it there on that. Now, request then on the euro pound. Let's have a look at the euro pound. Take that back. So euro pound's had such a solid old time up until recently, and then we could run into this week, and the pound is under the hammer, and it's not just against the dollar. It's sold off here against the euro, and the euro's recovered pretty well. There were signs, and there are still signs, maybe a bit of double divergence through this movement. If you look at the RSI here, it was certainly diverging into this second push up here, and then it's giving me another little dip at the moment. So there is some divergence there. Looking at the 60-minute time frames, bit of a may have some more upside on this. I mean, it's certainly not showing any signs of absolute weakness yet, beside of that divergence on the bigger time frames. That's sort of worked off here. If you look at the prior highs there, it did have divergence here. It's had a little retracement, then broken that. So the shorter time frame at the moment is saying hold fire. This may have some more, I think, and we could see further upside on that. Okay, that's pretty much it there. Euro pound. I'll look at the euro yen. I do like this as a pair myself. I've lost some data here, and I can't on the dailies. It's just missing. I needed to refresh this, but it's just come down the time frames. You see it okay here, and we saw quite a correction yesterday into the midday there. It's bounced. It's well, I'm looking at this and wondering whether it's going to roll over again, but arguably bull flag in this part here, and maybe best left alone for now because it's not giving me anything obvious. It was giving me some sort of bearish signal. Now it's chopping on that euro yen, but possible continuation to the upside, but we'll see how things develop this morning. For me, it's not clear enough to do anything at the moment. The only thing really I'm looking at is that euro, and see what comes of this. If it carries on rolling, well, that I'll stand aside for now. These markets haven't been the easiest to pick out trades. Yesterday I had two setups in the morning, and one of them fired off and went straight away. It was very quick. The other didn't do anything, and that was it. It was a difficult old day. Okay, let's have a look at the S&Ps. S&Ps, well, there's no stopping them, is there? Everyone keeps on asking, can I short this or whatever else? Does it look like it's diverging? Want to sell it? Don't fall into the trap. I mean, this is the answer. It retraced yesterday. It retraced a little bit in the towards the afternoon, and off it went again. For me, I would be looking for those dips and those retracements if you can get the opportunity. If you can see something clear, particularly when the US markets open in the afternoon, then we've got a bit more volumes, some more volumes flowing through. If it's put a little lower, higher on the 60-minute at the moment. Maybe a bigger corrections in play for today, but we'll see how that rides. It's certainly run its way down at the moment, but again, I would look to the afternoon to be trading that. Okay, gold. Okay, lower highs running through here and selling off on gold here. It had a good run yesterday. It's just come back to dailies there. It's solid move up yesterday. Just come up short of the 50. We've seen the euro's pulling back a little bit. Aussie's pulling back. Pound's pulled back a lot. This is pulled back as well here, and it's probably at that sort of these sort of levels like the euro. If it's going to gain something, it's going to do it here. If they start rolling over, well then I think that would just be dollar strength coming through completely. Just having a quick look at the US Treasuries off on a different page here at the moment, and they have been pushing up through the evening, so through the Asian session. Which might suggest that, again, reasoning for the dollar getting a bit stronger if the bonds are starting to be sold again. The dollar seems to be a net winner of that fight. So anyway, gold at the moment, if it can't hold on here, well, it could have further downside, a bit more of a correction. Okay, that is that. A quick look at oil, which is just going nowhere. There we go. That's a quick look at oil going nowhere. Again, yesterday it looked at times like it was going to do something. It is just held up here. I've got a short from it seems like from ever on oil that's running. He's just not doing what I'd expected. I expected a bit more and a bigger correction. It could still happen. I'll leave it to run its course anyway. So oil expecting fundamentally a bit more of a correction. Technically at the moment, it's just hanging in there. Okay, finally Bitcoin. We'll have a quick look at that, then I'll answer your question, CSM. So you're sort of rolling back here. Bitcoin yesterday update. Well, it does seem to follow the dollar a lot more these days. So if the dollar's starting strengthening, I would expect Bitcoin to come off a bit more. But at the moment, it's doing all right, hanging in there on the dailies, and I still think we'll see a break that another challenge, that sort of 60,000 area before we might get a bit more of a correction. Now, someone's asking me here regarding the COT data says that the euro was weaker than the pound. Unfortunately, you can't compare COT data from currency to currency. You'll see the strength of any individual currency by looking at COT data, but you can't compare it. There is no comparison of the individual. There's a lot more volume that sits in the euro dollar than the pound dollar, so and there isn't a comparison across the euro to the pound dollar. It's all priced in dollars, so it's all basically dollar backed data, and there's a lot more traders in the euro, so you can't read in too much to that. Okay, right, at this note I'm going to call it a day. I wish you a great morning and day's trading. I'll be back Monday morning.